Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Group C open hard format here for in terms of our selection. How's it going, folks? I'm Wolfling Serious No, and we're going to be seeing Jeddoman versus NoblytheForeign. And I believe this is the last match of Group C as well. Joining me on the mic on CoCom is Goron 1988. How's it going?
It's going good, and yeah, I'm happy to be here with you, Wolflink, and happy to see both of these runners, both amazing runners. And yeah, it's just nice to see the end of Group C, and see what these runners can do. It should be a fun race. Yeah, so open hard. You can get to maximum 3 swords. You can't get mail upgrades, 1 bottle, 48 heart pieces, 4 hearts that aren't sank heart, and 1 heart. And yeah, it's 7-7 open Hyrule Castle. 7 crystals to get to Ganon. And we're starting here. Jeddoman is in Century. The Moon Pearl! And a heart on Link's house on Nobly side.
Good starting thus far here. Looks like it's going to be an uncle start here for Nobly. And meanwhile, I'd also noticed the Jeddoman has decided to turn on the palette swap, so we're going to get a fresh little paint job over on Hyrule.
Yeah. I had to double check it. Double check my eyes. I was like, wait, is this Ambrosia? I nearly thought it was Ambrosia for a second.
Now, we should have pointed out other notable things about this mode is that most of the small rupee drops in the item pool are removed. So if you see a blue rupee, it's usually an item that is overflowed, with the exception of 2 things. The sword overflows into a green pile of 20 rupees as we get the mirror off of Uncle, and I think that was arrows at the lumberjack. Yeah, and the other item that overflows is the magic meter, the half magic, as we get Canis Amari as well. Wow, okay, great finds from Nobly. But yes, the half magic overflows into a small magic decanter.
Also, in this mode, bows are non-progressive, so you'll find runners finding the silvers before finding the bow, or possibly finding the bow without the silvers, as Jeddoman picks up a sword on the mushroom spot.
Meanwhile, Nobly picks up an 8 bomb pack from one of the blue guards. That'll definitely help him get through Hyrule Castle here, as he's making an early play to it. And the shovel, lots of items this early so far. We're not even 2 minutes into the scene. We've got a good few Y items.
Yeah, definitely. We'll just have to see how the seed plays out, because not many of these items have determined whether this seed will be an Aga seed or not currently, because all we've got is the Moon Pearl currently. So we'll just have to see how this plays out. A lot of density coming up in Kakariko Village as Jeddoman is going there.
Yeah, but the only thing we know for sure is that this is not going to be an Aga seed to enter Lumberjack. I believe I saw a number value. Yeah. So that means it was either an arrow pack or a bomb pack, which either way, it's not required.
Yeah. So Jeddoman is going to be starting from the bottom. Ooh, the hook shot in the back of the bar. The reason Jeddoman is probably doing this is to buy the 10 bomb packs, so he can do the top of Kakariko Village more easily.
Yeah, buying bombs is pretty much the best way to get it early on in this mode. Yeah. It does mean he might be short for Bottle Merchant, but hopefully he'll get some more money here in a little bit.
Yeah. So Nobly is defeating the ball and chain guard. That's the hammer in Chicken Hut? Is this so much value? And crystal-wise, Crystal Eastern Palace, Crystal Tower of Hera, Red Crystal, Desert Palace is what I saw.
All the Light World is required to do in terms of dungeons. This could be a really good nice seed here. More money for Jeddoman. Makes up for his bomb purchase. Meanwhile, Mini Mold Arcade. Boots! And the glove. That's Darkworld access already for
What?
Jeddoman, not without even being 5 minutes into the seed.
Boots in 4 minutes. That's very quick.
And Nobly is known for having some unorthodox routing, so one has to wonder, when will he ever go to Kakariko? There's a lot of value there. Well, that bottle might sway him. That's the only bottle that he's gonna get. And the flute is there too!
Yep. Just Kakariko is paying off, basically. And well, my thoughts on whether Nobly will go into Kakariko soon. I mean, most definitely. I mean, you have the flute, you have the gloves, you have the hammer, you have the boots, you have the hook shot, all in Kakariko. There's no way Nobly can do any more of this seed. Jeddoman activating the flute here.
Nobly finding the mushroom there. It's not too far away from using the warp point just north and a quick... Well, actually, he doesn't have the boost for the boots block. Never mind. Won't be as quick as I thought. Ignoring that hard piece for the time being.
I mean, Jeddoman is going into library. Can do this if it's an item. Just 20 rupees, though. As Nobly is going to be checking Egina. Again, my opinion is whatever Egina might be giving, there's so much in Kakariko that Nobly will have to go back there, in my opinion. I mean, what do you think?
I'd say that I'm at least thinking in terms of the current routing, he's doing something pretty nice here. He went to Mini Moldorm first and then routed westward to clear the dam and everything else, so he's done at least a thorough job, and he's only isolated Ice Rod Cave, which can just be a fluke 8. So overall, a good little bit of cleanup here, and hopefully that bottle will push him over to Kakariko, and it looks like he's going that way.
Yep, definitely. So yeah, now we're just seeing each other runner getting everything the other runner has currently. So both our runners are going to be on a ton of items soon.
I did not see what was on race game from Jeddoman, but he did scout it, so whatever it was, it wasn't worth his time.
Yeah, chat is saying red 20.
And the nice thing here is Jeddoman with the boots and the hookshot is just going to have a much faster time clearing all the checks that Nobly just did. He is going to be burned a bit by isolating Sick Kid, but for all we know, that could just be a heart piece.
I mean, there are 48 of them.
Exactly.
In this mode. I think just looking at all of this, progression has just got to be, you know, well, in the Dark World somewhere. Possibly VOO. Sorry, Village of Outcasts, Thieves Town, Front of Skullwoods. Could be Pod as well, I'm guessing, on... Oh, wait. Yeah, could be Pod as well. So there are quite a few options here.
Yeah, in terms of the seed, Aghanim is just completely dead.
I mean, definitely. Actually looking at that mirror, well, not the mirror, the flute itself as well, Death Mountain is in access as well. Both East and West Death Mountain. The only thing not being is Dark Death Mountain, Ether Tablets, you know, and Old Man. So Jeddoman is giving us some checks out of logic here. Seeing Waterfall Flag. And those are the silvers, but can't use them without the bow first.
No, but a good pickup all the same. Gonna reset his water walk here. Or check his bottle.
Yeah. Jeddoman...
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Jeddoman is only on 186 rupees, so he won't be able to... Oh.
I think he would have been able to jump to the right and get on the shallows, but that's a soft luck otherwise.
Yeah. So Jeddoman's only choice there being to save and quit. And is going to go to Hyrule Castle Well to get the mirror and those and the Cane of Samaria.
Yeah, nothing down the base and towards Zelda Sill as far as I saw.
I did not see anything either.
Loot on line up for Nobly.
Yep. And I'm just still thinking, we still have, well, we still have, like, Sahasrah's hut as well. And the back of Escape to look at, which I think Jeddoman is going to do the back of Escape now.
It makes sense. Meanwhile, we're going to see what Sick Kid had. This is a check Jeddoman chooses to ignore. Nobly's going to, of course, get there first. And I say ignore, I mean he didn't have the bottle at the time.
Ooh, this might be a fake powder for Magic Bat.
Looking like it.
Yeah, Sick Kid is giving nothing. So yeah, what does Magic Bat give? Jeddoman giving the mushroom to Magic Bat. And Magic Bat gives...
Bombos! That's a good sequence break.
Oh, definitely is. We know that our first 3 dungeons are crystals, but it is most likely that Ether, Misery Mire, or Turtle Rock will be a crystal. It's possible they aren't, but I'm thinking one of them are this seed. I don't know why. And that Bombos might help with those, and might help with opening up Ice Palace as well.
Yeah, Ice Palace, Mire, and Turtle Rock. Well, we see the matchup right there. It is Mire, Swamp, and Pod that are our 3 pendants. It's Mire being the green pendant, and it's a vanilla red crystal Ice Palace. It is Crystal 5.
Yep. So, Turtle Rock is a crystal.
So we do need to find the Ice Rod and the Fire Rod in the seed. And the bow, of course, as well.
Nothing in Village of Outcasts so far. Jeddoman is up the mountain, correct? If I remember his movement. Okay, good. So, let's see what Old Man gives. 300 rupees. Might be useful for King Zora.
Well, it's close to Zora money, actually, so yeah. It's only a couple dozen
off. And there's the bug net on Nobly's side. I mean, I know logically, unless you're doing a swordless seed, it doesn't do much, but it still looks good. So, you know, I have a personal liking for the bug net.
Well, in the context of Open Heart, when you only have 1 bottle, you might want to fill it with a fairy. And that allows you to capture fairies for that purpose. Master Sword, meanwhile, for NoblytheForeign over in Thieves Town's front half.
Yep. So Thieves Town is a crystal, so Nobly is going to be completing it. I don't believe blind. Well, the fight on blind matters for what damage source you really use. So I don't think there's a difference between fighters and Master Sword, but this will help nonetheless in future battles at the very least.
Yeah, no. Blind takes damage from any source, but he always has a fixed amount of health, if that makes any sense. He has 9 hit points.
Yeah.
Hair pot, meanwhile, happening over on Jeddoman's side.
Yeah. Seems as though Jeddo is going straight for Moldon there. We'll probably... I think 1 item is missing on Jeddo's side. 1 item in Hera Basement that can't really be accessed yet. Nobly is checking the, first floor chest, and it is just a piece of heart.
Yep, and
Yep.
Odom that skylights the blind can be summoned later.
Yep. And that is 1, 2, 3 hammer shots down on Jeddoman's side, defeating Moldorm and getting that piece of heart and his first crystal. 14 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yeah, and I'm not mistaken. That was, in fact, the second item of Hera, so he does not need to come back in.
Oh, okay. Okay, I was miscounting then. Well, that is definitely very good on Jeddoman's side. But yeah, we're going to see a ton of density here. I mean, there's still a ton of possible locations, so it's possible there's nothing here on Mountain, but I believe this is still Paradox Cave, Spiral Cave, so should be a nice amount here. And I didn't see anything on Nobly side on the Maiden cell.
It was a compass. Alright, here we go, Spiral Cave. Now, I've actually seen a couple of barren mountains just last week, so it's not too uncommon to see, but hopefully we don't see it this time. Those seats had pretty late mountain access. This one's nice and open.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I believe Blind making the joke, the beach, I'm not sure about it. As Blind only gives 20 rupees, and Jeddoman finds that half magic that it really is half of a half magic. As a simple magic decanter, isn't it?
Yep.
And that is Nobly's first crystal in 15 minutes and 48 seconds. Jeddoman finding 6 bombs, 300 rupees, 20 rupees, and a piece of heart in Paradox Cave. Well, the top of
Meanwhile,
it.
the one and only shield that nobody's gonna find has been found in the brewery. Well, if he has to do more fake flippers, at least it'll protect him from arrows.
Yeah, that definitely is good. Yeah, seems as though Jeddoman is going to be going to the Dark World himself now.
The question is, where is Nobly going to be going here? It looks like he may be routing in with the mirror, the Bonk Rocks, Graveyard Ledge, maybe also checking Bumper Cave and Aga.
I believe Nobly also hasn't done the Back of Escape. I might be wrong on that, but might be able to route Back of Escape in as well. We'll just have to see. Yeah, and it seems as though Nobly is going for Bumper Ledge now. Sorry, Bonk Rocks now, whilst Jeddoman is going into Skull Woods.
Just a heart piece in Bonk Rocks. And the big key found immediately for Jeddoman, meanwhile. So I don't know if the... Oh, he's just doing a hover.
I mean, to bring it back, so looking at our runner's own words, I'm just going to bring this up.
But yeah, we're seeing Graveyard Ledge being checked, and it is the Ether Medallion. Good find there for Nobly.
In Jeddoman's, well, bio, been racing for 3 years, and hovering isn't as hard as people make it out to be.
It isn't really in its concept, but it is really hard on your controller, so I will refrain from doing it, thank you. I do not want you going through a controller like every... I don't know how long.
Yeah.
Anyway, Nelly down with Graveyard Ledge, looking to potentially get set up to do the drop down. Yeah, it looks like it. This is a really efficient routing. And there's the Titan's bits. So, Nobly, if he goes up the mountain, will have another minor routing advantage in that he will have access to Dark Death Mountain's items.
Yeah. Well, definitely good to see. I did look away for 1 second, so forgive me on that one. Where were the Titan's bits?
They were in back of escape, left chest. And yep, sure enough, he's going up the mountain.
So was this the case? Because I didn't know if the key was in the back. Was this glove locked glove then?
No, the key was available. It looks like he might be in the vanilla Dark Cross chest. At least I don't recall seeing it in the front half.
Okay. But yeah, it does seem as though Jeddoman will be getting his mitt soon as well.
Nice fuse timer trick right there. Jeddoman placing the bomb immediately, lifting up the first swap, then grabbing the bomb and chucking it over. So that it blows immediately when he needs it to.
Yeah, always good to see.
It's those small optimizations which can save you seconds.
Oh, I believe chat's saying, well, our tracker is saying key was in Dark Cross, so the mitts are locked by the lamp then, wouldn't they be? I mean, our runners can go through, you know, the whole seed without the lamp effectively, pretty much. Unless they need well, they will need a fire source, as long as they get the fire rod then. But, yeah, it means that the lamp can't be behind mitts.
Oh, we already had mitts, and we already had the gloves in order to go in the back anyway.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we did have the gloves to go to the back, so, yeah, okay. Then we're fine on that one.
Just a couple of heart pieces there on that. Oh, and Jeddoman did not do back of escape.
Yeah, this might be big on Jeddoman's side. And yeah, Nobly is doing Hookshot Cave. Piece of Heart, Piece of Heart. Red Boomerang.
So nothing really of importance on the mountain, at least on the dark side.
Yeah, we didn't see too much on the light side anyway.
What a true. Oh, this just turned interesting. It is Bombos for Turtle Rock, and we know where that is. It's on Magic Bat.
This can be big on Jeddoman's side, although Jeddoman still needs to get those mitts.
And there's the fairy capture that I was talking about earlier for Nobly. Gonna have that in his back pocket just as a safety. Fairies only revive you with 7 hearts, though, so it won't be enough to, in terms of the Ganon fight, to save him from contact damage, but it will be enough to give him one more fighting shot.
Yeah. But yeah, currently Nobly is doing Tower of Hera, whilst Jeddoman is doing Thieves Town. We've seen this, well, we've seen Thieves Town on Nobly's side, and we've seen Tower of Hera on Jeddoman's side. Again, these are both brilliant runners. Make sure you give them a follow. Brilliant runners and brilliant people.
Oh, was I mistaken?
I
think he might have actually... I think there was actually an item in the big chest here in Hera. Because I believe this is the map. Yeah, okay. There's an item in the big chest. And Jeddoman left that behind.
Yeah, I mean, neither of our runners have a fire source for Hera Basement currently. And yeah. So it's now Nobly's turn to fight against Moldorm.
Yeah, slightly better equipped than when Jeddoman was, though, with the Master Swords. Can do spin attacks, which have a much larger hitbox.
Yep, and that is 3 spin attacks, and that is Moldorm down. So that's Nobly's second crystal. Well, 24 minutes, 28 seconds.
Yeah, and now we will... Now, I did not see what was in the vanilla big chest here, but it looks like Jeddoman's leaving it behind. It must be a dungeon item.
I believe the... just looking at the keys, I believe that is a small key in the big chest, so the big chest itself is key locked. Because
okay.
Blind gave an item this suit.
So that, by extension, means that Blind is hammer locked, which is kind of an interesting little wrinkle. Good tempo on the fight here. Spike Cave being checked meanwhile. This is what the fairy's for.
Yep, so Spike Cave, out of logic really until we can get the invincibility item. So Nobly is going to get that fairy revive right here. And yeah, 25 minutes, about 30 seconds, that's Jeddoman's second crystal. Thieves down.
Fairy was enough to carry Nobly over here, but it was just for a heart container.
I mean, Nobly can go through more spikes with that heart. But yeah, I mean, as far as I know, we've still got plenty of checks. Nobly is going to be checking Desert Ledge? Yeah, so Desert should be completely in logic here. And can also check Misery Mire. Sorry, Misery Mire Grotto. As well as Checkerboard Cave.
And it's Ether to enter Misery Mire if we need to. So we have both medallions known to us that we need. Meanwhile, Flippers.
Yep. Flippers and Misery Mire Shed, so again, we're seeing a lot of progression here. I think we might just be, what, a bow, a fire rod, and an ice rod from Go Mode?
That sounds about right, yeah. Desert being checked meanwhile.
Yep. Again, Desert is a 5/6 crystal. And is fully clearable, so, yep. Yeah, we're just seeing the small key on, well, on Nobly's side. Ooh, there's the ice rod. That's the first item in Desert.
Good find. Without fire, we cannot clear Desert, but hopefully the second item here is available.
Ah, yes, true. We do need a fire source.
But alas, it is just a 20 rupees here as we get for... Well, it's time for this cave we all know and love. It's Hype Cave. Legacy or Reputation? Let's find out.
First item, Piece of Heart.
And now for items 2 through 4, we have another Piece of Heart, a third, the lamp, and a blue rupee.
I mean, 2 out of 10. That is the lamp. And ooh, there's the powder on Nobly's side. So that powder puts, well, it puts Bombos into logic. But yeah, that lamp you can use to light the lamps in Desert Palace, and you can even check Hera Basement with it to get the big key and open the Hera big chest.
Yeah, so that's something that Jeddoman did not want to necessarily see, but it will be nice for him when he goes to Desert at the very least. He won't be leaving the item behind. Mushroom Turn-In is just for a heart piece, which was a full container. Another heart piece on the pyramid, meanwhile. And where is Jeddoman going to go next? Into Hyrule Castle.
Yep.
Meanwhile, it looks like Nobly is going to be entering the Eastern Palace region and checking Sahasrara.
Yeah, I mean, 3 items in Sahasrara's hut, and then another possible 3 items in Eastern Palace. If one of these is the bow, this might help Nobly considerably. At the moment, piece of heart, 5 rupees, and the fire rod, so yeah, not the bow, but it pays off.
Does indeed. That means we are in... Oh boy, there's a pun here, but I'm going to say it. Bow mode. We find the bow, we're in go.
Well, if we know where the bow is, then, well, we're in no mode. But...
True, because Nobly does not know where the Bombos medallion is. That's true, that's true.
But, yeah, we're going to see King Zora soon on Nobly's side.
And Nobly now has Soreros. If Bo was on King Zora, I don't know what else to think of the sea, because that means we have a sub 30 or sub 33-ish no mode, which is just absolutely unheard of.
So Bombos is Magic Bat, and Magic Bat, the powder was in Checkerboard Cave.
And you know what, Goron?
Yeah.
With that fire rod, he's more inclined to go to Clear Skull Woods and then do the Smith Chain, which will eventually let him check Magic Bat, which will get him his Bombos.
Yep. And, yep, King Zora giving nothing today, and there was nothing on Zora Ledge, so nothing to worry about on Jeddoman's side. But yeah. Yep. Jeddoman, as chat is saying, is taking the long way to the back of Escape, but is going there and will be rewarded with his mitts. So, what play is this from Nobly? Oh yes, of course. With the Fire Rod, Nobly can now do the back of Desert Palace.
And Jeddoman now with his Titan's mitts. And is probably wondering just how much he's missed. Yeah, there's a little bit of frustration there. He could have had that a lot sooner, and he knows it.
I mean, not using mitts is, well, it has granted the lamp, but the fire rod is still on, well, Sahasrara's hut, so, yeah. I wouldn't say that any runner is specifically behind at the moment. I mean, they're both on similar amounts of crystals. And similar item pool, realistically. So, we'll just have to see what happens. Yeah. So, this is crystal number 3. Nobly versus Lambo. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fire rod shots, but Lambo escapes away. And that is a sword swing and a few slashes, and Lambo is down. And that is Nobly's third crystal.
Now, it would have been 6 magic shots, but he was out of magic, unfortunately, so he could not get the one cycle there. Just shy of casting his final shot.
If only we had half magic in this mode.
Oh, we found it! Oh, wait, it was just a smoke decanter. But yeah, you only get 8 shots totals to give you an idea. So he only had about maybe half of a shot, which unfortunately you need to round up if you want to cast a spell.
Yeah. So Nobly is now showing us Ice Palace, so we'll see if the bow is in here. I mean, just looking at this, yeah, we're pretty much in no bow mode. We're in no bow mode, as in they don't have a bow, and we're also in, when we find the bow, we will be in the know about the bow. And then hopefully, eventually, they will be in go. I think our runners are putting on a fantastic show. Whoops.
Tempered Sword, meanwhile, from Nobly.
I'll try to stop. I just, yeah, I got a rhyming bug or something. But yeah, Tempered Sword and Ice Palace for Nobly. Yeah, Nobly is doing Icebreaker. Gets an item, but is going to do Ice Palace Bomb Jump now? I mean, yeah, I don't normally see this strat.
Oh wait, he
it's the
didn't set the switch. Yeah, he doesn't have a key, so this could potentially soft lock him if he doesn't do this correctly.
Ah, I see it. But yeah, 2 of Lammo are down. Jeddoman getting a few swings on the 3rd one.
So we'll be slightly slower here for Nobly, but that's fine.
Yep, that is Jeddoman's 3rd crystal. 35 minutes, 37 seconds.
And meanwhile, Nobly is down to getting his 4th here. And there's the 3rd item of the heart piece, so he can go.
Yes, he can go.
He's just gonna get out of Ice Palace as fast as possible here. That's what the switch flipping was for.
I mean, chat at the moment is asking who to root for. All of that. Yeah, a few have said enjoying chaos. I just like to see a close race between our runners most of the time.
Yeah, this is Jeddoman finally checking Agina. Meanwhile, Cold Stare being encountered. And doing Sword Beam strats here. Saving some magic.
Yep. Nobly kept the Cold Stare in the top right for most of it. They did escape a little bit, but that is Cold Stare down on Nobly's side. And that is Nobly's 4th crystal. 37 minutes. But also, that is Nobly's 2nd red crystal. We might be seeing Pyramid Ledge and Pyramid Fairy right now.
Would be the perfect time to see it, as we see the mushroom turning here from Jeddoman, which we know is not going to be anything major.
Yep. And it seems as though Nobly is now doing the under the bridge check. I do not believe we've actually seen this yet. I might be wrong.
We have not.
Okay, so this will be interesting. Because yeah. Okay, Jeddoman did it without the flippers, was fake flippering. So that's specifically why Nobly did go up. Just 5 rupees under the bridge.
Now, we should know, once again, folks, that anytime we see a blue rupee, that is actually one of our other progressive items that is overflowed. Most of the green and blue, all of the green and blues that we used to see in the pool were replaced to make room for the extra heart pieces.
Yeah, so... Seems as though Jeddoman is going up Death Mountain. I believe both our runners have done Death Mountain, so... This might be a Turtle Rock play from Jeddoman. Which would be terrible because the Fire Rod is not in Turtle Rock. I need to double check where that Fire Rod is.
That is at Sahasrara. And he has not done Dark Death Mountain here, so this is just him opening the portal at the very least.
Okay. Well, in all fairness, Turtle Rock normally locks out our runners. So if Jeddoman decides to go into Turtle Rock, then most likely he'll be pushed out quite quickly. Nobly has gotten a lamp from Hype Cave.
Now, that all said, Goron, there is the entirely possible chance that the key logic is in such the precise way that we could go all the way to Laser Bridge without the fire rod.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do know that. I'm really hoping it's not, but I do know that one.
I'm also hoping it's not for Jeddoman's sake. But who knows? Maybe you'll find the bow.
Yeah. I mean, let's just look at the field for a second. Where could the bow be? It couldn't be on pad. It couldn't be at the end of pod. Helmasaur specifically. It could be the whole of Swamp Palace. It could be, well, it could still be Skull Woods. It could be Misery Mire, and it could be Turtle Rock. And yeah, the book on Nobly side, so from Pyramid Fairy. So we'll see if Bombo's tablet or Ether tablet come into play soon.
Not only did we get the book, we got a green pile of 20 rupees, which means that was our fourth and final sword as well, if we didn't already have the others.
Yeah. Yeah, so Jeddo is going to be doing Ice Palace. Nobly is going into Skullwoods. I think both our runners have done the front of Skullwoods. I believe this is just clearing the crystal. Again, you can tell me if I'm wrong on that one. Well, it looks as though Nobly is going to be clearing Skullwoods, so I guess Nobly hasn't checked the first two items here. Yeah, I believe the items are nothing on here, but again, it's always best to check on Skullwoods where the items are.
I gotta say, this Ice Palace is making me want some lime sherbet for some reason. I don't know why.
I'm more fond of lemon sherbet myself, so it more gravitates me towards that. But yeah, I can see why. I just don't want a Pengator in my live sherbet? Lime sherbet, please. Thank you very much.
Alright, Nobly is now heading over to the back of Skullwoods here. I don't think we've seen any items out of Skullwoods, have we? I wasn't paying too much attention.
I thought Jeddo got both items in the front of Skullwoods, but I might be wrong on that one. I originally thought both our runners had checked the front, but Nobly hasn't, so yeah, Nobly is just going to back, and we'll see where the items are again.
Our tracker, meanwhile, Link Force there. Once again, shout out to them for keeping the items up to date for us here. As Lee's confirmed, there is one item in the front, so maybe there's one on Offula.
Yeah. That item could very well be the bow.
Alright.
Nobly versus Mothula and dozens of spikes.
What is the true boss here? The moth or the spikes? Considering the moth died, probably the spikes.
Yeah, so Mothula is down, and that is 5 rupees. So nothing in Skullwoods, but that is Nobly's 5th crystal in 43 minutes and 15 seconds.
Oh. This is a head check, but this can't be anything. Oh, but for all Nobly knows, this could be Bomba, so he's gonna check it just to make sure.
And yep, there we go, confirmation. I mean, we knew logically Ped was dead, but it is just Couch Cash, move right along.
And considering Nobly's position here. Looking maybe do a Meyer dip? Yeah, it's a Meyer dip.
Ugh. I mean, yeah, Maya could still have the bow, so that is one good thing here.
And the bird is just going to be left behind.
But yeah. So Misery Maya is a green pendant. If Nobly gets the first two items quite quickly in Misery Maya, well, do you think Nobly dips out or just continues it for the green pendant?
Considering what we're geared with, we're as combat, in terms of main equipment, we're as combat oriented as we could be. It would be nice to have the bow, but I don't know if he should stay or not, honestly.
And yeah, so let me see. Chat asking, have we been in Easton at all? I really don't believe we have. I believe Easton is still in play.
Yeah, both of the Eastern dungeons have not been checked whatsoever, Pod and Eastern. And honestly, it may be an okay idea to dip Pod just to see if the first item is not a key. If it isn't, then that means Pod is completely empty in terms of what we need to get done.
So this is a Pyramid Fairy play from Jeddoman. I am wondering whether our runners are going to dip into Swamp at some point. I mean, that is the highest density of any dungeon. 6 possible items and is fully clearable.
Yeah, this bow can be almost anywhere.
Yeah. So
there's the big key for Nobly.
Yep, I haven't seen any items yet in Misery Maya.
It's all coming down to a single item location, which pretty par for the course in terms of randomizer. Let's be completely honest here.
Yeah, so Jeddoman is going up to Catfish. We haven't seen this yet.
First item out of Meyer is just a heart piece.
Yep, so only one more item in Maya, but there's that green pendant. And
it's on the boss. I don't think... Oh, actually, no, I don't think he's on cutscene chests. I think... Yeah, I think he's skipping that one.
So yeah, either the boss or cutscene chest. I mean, if this gamble pays off, then Nobly won't need to check cutscene chests, so that will be good. Jeddoman has, well, awakened Catfish, and that is just a piece of art. And it seems as though Jeddoman is now routing in King Zora and Zora Ledge.
Yeah, we know there's nothing here, but he doesn't know that just yet.
Yeah, I think this will be a certain amount of relief for Jeddoman, because not specifically King Zora, but Zora Ledge itself, Jeddoman was going to be checking it, but got soft blocked out of here.
Now, Nobly did not get the spooky action set up, and I think I saw where it failed. Just before the bird flew away, he did a sword beam strike, which probably reset the Y coordinate on the splash hitbox of the fire rod.
So, Jeddoman going into par. And yeah, whilst for no mode we need the bow, to clarify, both our runners are 2 items away. Jeddoman is the bow and the fire rod away from go mode, and Nobly is the bow and the Bombos medallion away from go mode. However, it seems as though Jeddoman is probably going to mirror away soon, and get that fire rod from Sahasrara.
Yeah, but at this routing, you might as well continue into the palaces to just make sure there's the bow's not there.
Yeah, that is Vitreous down on Nobly's side. And that is just a key, so Nobly getting that green pendant. One more item in Misery Ma for Nobly to, well, either find or, you know, last locate.
And Jeddoman is, in fact, going to be leaving the palaces behind.
I mean, the Fire Rod does give the ability to clear Skull Woods. Jeddoman could also full clear Turtle Rock, which is 5 items. So there are some options here for Jeddoman. Although, yeah, Jeddoman was halfway there to pod, so this must have been a tough decision. And, well, with regards to Moth, the bosses don't necessarily have an item, but we have already seen on Nobly's side that Moth did have an item, but it was not progression.
Yeah, in fact, I believe it was a heart piece. Is that a heart piece or a blue rupee? I don't remember too much anymore. Anyway, cutscene chest being checked here from Nobly. Or Nobly. That name sounds so hard to pronounce. Hopefully I'm not mispronouncing it.
I've always thought Nobly, but yeah. Now I'm wondering whether I've been saying his name wrong. So cutscene chest has the Cane of Burner. That's logical access to Spike Cave, but I believe Nobly has already done Spike Cave and it's nothing. And it looks now as if, well, Nobly is now going into Eastern Palace. But yeah, chat's still asking, well, first of all, Jeddoman, that is Jeddoman's 3rd crystal in Skullwoods, and Nobly has just got Quake from Sahasrara, which we know is not necessary this seed.
And Jeddoman is also checking Ped, even though he should know by now that it's dead.
Yep. So Nobly is now going into Eastern Palace. This being, well, there are 3 possible items here. It could very well have the bow. Of course, not on Almost Nights, but anywhere else.
Meanwhile, Jeddoman's climbing up the mountain, going into Turtle Rock, it looks like.
I mean, Jeddoman has both rods, Fire Rod, Ice Rod, Cane of Samaria, Mitts and Hammer. What more do you need?
Even has a medallion to enter.
Yep.
Now, here's the catch-22. If the bow is not up there, then Jeddoman will have to... Well, regardless of the bow's up there or not, Jeddoman will have to do another mountain climb. Whereas if Nobly finds it, then we will... He only has to do one more climb and go up the GT from TRs pretty quick.
I mean, definitely on that one, but again, it's possible that Nobly, you know, does Smith Chain and there's nothing on... Well, I mean, Nobly would get bombos from Smith Chain, but, you know, there's nothing on Smith Chain, for example, so... Yeah, I'd say it's just we find out where Bo is and we find out where our runners are, but if Jeddoman does get on 6 crystals, you know, if the bow is here, this will be very good for Jeddoman. I mean, I haven't been counting items, but whatever could be on Amos cannot be the bow, so it cannot be progression. The bow is the only thing we need left.
Yeah, and there's only one more check left, and that is what Nobly is going to be doing.
Yeah.
Small key compass, meanwhile, for Jeddoman. Moment of truth here for Nobly.
Yeah.
Third item, it is 10 arrows. Not here.
Yeah, that... well, we all want what shoots the arrows, not the arrows themselves this time. But yeah, just going through checks that our runners haven't done. Yeah, we've got Hera Basement, we've got Swamp Palace, we've got Bombo's Tablet, we have Ether Tablet. What
The
else?
entire Smith chain as well.
Yeah, Smith chain as well. So I'm trying to think what else. I mean, have our runners even done K45? I'm not sure on that one. I think they have though, yeah. But yeah, it's just been, well, maps and keys so far in Turtle Rock, so we couldn't see. And yeah, there's Mimic Cave, which is effectively Turtle Rock as well. So I guess when you look at it, it's the 6 on Jeddoman's side compared to the 6 on Nobly side. Well, I think maybe Jeddoman found like some rupees in one of the chests, so it's 5v6, but we'll just have to see.
Alright. Another big key for Jeddoman. Meanwhile, our first look at Pendant Swamp Palace. Compass to start things off. There will be an item left side now, and Nobly knows it. So, in Nobly's position right now into Swamp Palace, I say don't take it a chance. Go to left side Swamp. As you're potentially 2 items for go mode, either one of them could be just on left side.
Yeah. I mean, Swamp is a pendant. Going into Swamp does take some time. I would think it would make sense doing left side Swamp as well, because otherwise you're just completely, last locating, another possible item there. So Jeddoman checking Mimic Cave, and Mimic Cave is 50 rupees. And yeah, our tracker saying on Jeddoman's side, perfect RNG on Pokies. So yeah, it did look good from what I specifically saw. Jeddoman checking the big chest, just a small key. So there should be a lot at the back here.
Okay, and there's the map. So yeah, now there's assuredly 2 items on the left side. You don't ignore it here anymore. And yeah, sure enough, he's going straight to do left side Swamp.
And yeah, so I believe that's the second item in Turtle Rock. Is just 3 bombs.
Now, Nobly has done something very fancy here. He's setting up the diver down. And gets it. And now, because of that bomb explosion from earlier, the crystal switch gets flipped.
Yeah. Yep. And Nobly does go across. Jeddoman's side, there are, well, it's a laser bridge, 4 chests here, possible 3 items. First chest bombs, second chest piece of heart.
Third chest, small key.
Yeah.
And
And then the
another piece of heart.
So I believe it's a compass on Trinex. Nobly is checking left side Swamp now. piece of heart in the first chest of left side swamp. And the second, just 10 arrows, so the quest to find the bow continues.
Does indeed, but we're not done with swamp just yet.
The question on Jeddoman's side is, and I think Jeddoman will do this, but will Jeddoman check Ether tablets? And then the other question after that is, will Jeddoman check Hera Basement? Because options, I mean, on Jeddoman's side, there's still Pod, there's still Swamp Palace, but options are drying up a tiny bit, is what I'd say.
Now, we might have had the compass and the map early. I wasn't paying too much attention to the early parts of Turtle Rock, admittedly.
I counted 5
Oh,
items.
2 hearts. Good
Yeah.
work. There it is!
Oh, this is big. The bow is in Swamp Palace. This is big. It is Bow versus Bombos.
And it was, in fact, a heart piece on Trinex. So, we are now in no mode, folks. We know where everything is in the seed. Jeddoman needs to go to the flooded rooms of Swamp Palace, which is a pendant dungeon. Meanwhile, Nobly needs to go to Magic Bat for Bombos in order to enter Turtle Rock and clear that dungeon.
Yeah, so this does seem a bit bad on Jeddoman's side. Jeddoman will now be checking Ether, possibly even checking Hera Basement, which, again, possibilities, but sadly the bow will not be in these locations.
On the flip side, though, because Nobly has the bow now, can check Pod.
Yes. I would say that, well, Nobly has momentum going, because it will only be a matter of time before Nobly checks Magic Bat, because there is a lot in Smith Chain, Hammer Pegs, Magic Bat, all the way leading up to Bombos Medallion. I think Nobly is going to be checking the big chest in Swamp Palace, because the big key was later on, wasn't it?
Yes, and this is honestly, as far as just keeping the world containing Nobly here in terms of information, this is an honestly respectable play. He knows he's one item away from Go Mode, and for all he knows, Bombos is in that chest.
Yeah.
So he's making absolutely sure that he has not left anything behind at this point. He is being thorough, and that's what he needs to do in order to get this game done. The less time he spends leaving one-ups behind, or the more time he spends on being thorough, the less time he'll have to run around looking for that one check he missed.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think that Nobly might find Bombos before Jeddoman, but Jeddoman is one dungeon above Nobly currently, so I guess we'll see how it all sort of turns out.
Well, at least technically 2 dungeons. It's roughly even, because he has to go through the entirety of Swamp to find that bow, pretty much. And this is reverse routing here for Smith Chain. We'll see if Nobly decides to check Magic Bat.
Okay, Jeddoman seems to be going to Pod. This is very good on Nobly's side.
Well, it's good, but it could also be bad, if that makes any sense. Because for all we know, the first item could not be a key, which Jeddoman will then know, or should know at least, that it is in fact a bow-locked pod, which means he doesn't have to be there.
Yeah, so that is the best scenario for Jeddoman right here. So yeah, that is Pod open on Jeddoman's side. And Nobly is going to go up for Smith Chain.
Yes, and this will eventually net him the Bombos Medallion. This is what he needs. Oh, that's not what you want to see.
Yeah, that is a key. So this palace is not bow locked. So Jeddoman is going to be going further into pod.
Well, it could be a delayed bow lock, but still.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not what you want to see at all. He finds 2 more keys here, then this dungeon is fully accessible except for the right side. Error phase being checked. Alright, there's one item. This is his chance here to know. No, he doesn't know. So it's a key and an item on the Bowlock side. So he knows the boss isn't unlocked, but the rest of the dungeon is, unfortunately for Jeddoman.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Nobly is getting bombos.
Yeah. Nobly dropping down, getting the powder. And that is Magic That.
And that will be go mode for Nobly here, officially at 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 36 seconds.
Okay, so on Nobly's side, this is just Eastern Palace, then a Flute Away, and then Turtle Rock, and well, then it should be GT.
Yeah, has to return to the Smiths first, because we can't go into the Dungeons without him, but yeah. To Eastern, then to GT.
So Jeddoman still having that key. We'll have to go into Dark Maze of Palace of Darkness. But yeah, at the moment, well, Jeddoman has the dungeon event. Well, not even the dungeon advantage, the crystal advantage. But Nobly's going to quickly overtake Jeddoman now, especially if Jeddoman does not make his way to Swamp Palace.
I don't think he will, but yeah, Jeddoman now knows this is not the play. Gonna check Eastern Palace here. We'll likewise find his 3 items and be in Bolt, but this is not where he needs to go. And then last, he either has to do Smith Chain, which we know is incorrect, or go to Swamp. Which is correct, but he's losing the majority of his time here. Because it's in pretty deep into Swamp Palace. Now, I wasn't paying too much attention to the key layout, but I don't think it's possible to do the rush strats in Turtle Rock.
I don't know specific strats, so you'll need to let me know about that. What specific strats?
Basically, they skip checking Mimic Cave and the big chest and just go straight to the downstairs to the laser bridge. I don't think that's possible this time. I could be wrong.
So this is now Nobly versus the Amos Knights. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 silver arrows, and that is Amos Knights down, and that is Nobly's 6 crystal.
Yep, all that's left is Turtle Rock, and Jeddoman is slowly but surely bleeding time here. Because even with having to go through, even they enter the dungeon at the same time, Jeddoman still has to go through this entire dungeon again, and on top of that, has to climb the mountain again. So, if they both enter Swamp and Turtle Rock at roughly the same time, I think Nobly will still be ahead.
I mean, it's tough to calculate, but I would say if if Jeddoman somehow got the bow this second, or probably went straight to, right this second, I think they'd probably be on a similar footing. But the thing is that Jeddoman needs to go to Swamp Palace now, so I'd say Jeddoman is a little bit behind now.
Yeah, Jeddoman is going to Swamp Palace, though. This is the play he needs to make.
Yeah. Well, in that case, it's, well, this race is still on, but, Jeddoman has to do some brilliant routing in order to make this up. I'd say it's only a few minutes here, but at the same time, like, you can normally hold a few minutes quite well, as much as what I've seen in these races.
Yeah, so we'll see here. They're going to enter the dungeons at roughly the same time. Nobly is going to be in just a few seconds sooner.
But yeah, wait a second. Where was the bow specifically? That was back of Swamp Palace, wasn't it?
Yeah, flooded room right.
Yeah.
So if he ignores left side swamp, Jeddoman will find it. Unfortunately, on the way, he will be finding the compass right here and the map later. So he'll know there's 2 items there, and he can't realistically leave that behind. So the question then is, does he check left side first or second?
I think he probably will check left side first. And yeah, chat just asking where was Bo. Bo is in the back of Swamp Palace. So Jeddoman will be getting the bow soon. It's just that, Nobly is completing TR now. So, yeah. We'll just have to see if Jeddoman can get that bow quickly. And, yeah, so, while chat is saying that nobody checks left side swamp, first one from go, I mean, if that's the case, it is very good.
And now Jeddoman knows there are 2 items on left side. Let's see what he decides. He's going left side.
Ugh. So this
will slow him down, but at the same time, I do not blame him for this play whatsoever. He knows there are 2 items over here. Either one of them, for all he knows, could be the bow. And the bow is in here. It's just not left side. Alright, so nice diver down there.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we've got Nobly halfway through Turtle Rock currently. Whilst Jeddoman is about halfway through Swamp Palace. Jeddoman only needs to get 2/3 of the way through Swamp Palace to get that bow to then go to Eastern Palace. But Jeddoman will probably still be in Eastern Palace when Nobly completes Turtle Rock, so...
Yeah, so no smoky here means Nobly has to go around. Does not have to do the Mimic Cave room.
Yeah, Nobly won't have to do Mimic Cave. I do believe, and this is slightly good for Jeddoman, but I believe the key is in the last chest of Laser Bridge. So that means, I mean, Jeddoman took that time as well, but that does mean that Jeddoman has a few seconds more, but yeah. So Jeddoman is now going down to, well, the two chests people normally dive down for.
And the bow is right there.
Yep, right in that top right chest. And that's Jeddoman's Go Mode 11403.
Yep, and Nobly is already the majority of the way through this dungeon. Meanwhile, Jeddoman still has to go back through Eastern Palace and climb up the mountain again. So I think Nobly will be out of Turtle Rock before Jeddoman can even be in the dark world of Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah. My opinion is that Jeddoman will be, well, I said in Eastern Palace, probably by the big chest by the time that Nobly is done with this Turtle Rock.
Now, if I recall correctly, I believe the key is in the third chest right here.
Ah. I misremembered. Thanks, definitely, on that one.
Alright, so it'll be Nobly's Trinex versus Jeddoman's Armos Knights.
Yep. And I'm going to bring this a bit sooner, but we like to play a game, don't we?
As we do. We only have a limited amount of time because Nobly's going to be in GT in a matter of a few moments. But chat, let me go and explain it here while we see this fight be just absolutely gorgeously done here. We have 22 chests in Gannis Tower, only one of which is going to contain the Gannis Tower big keys that we may use to ascend the tower. Give us a number in chat, tell us what you think it's going to be. And if you're playing along on home on the YouTube front, well, go ahead and try to guess and see if you're right.
Yep. Guesses close as soon as Nobly makes his way into GT. What are you guessing, Wolflink?
This has been kind of a back and forth seed here. I kind of want to decide by GT routing, so I'm going to say it's in random room.
I've said number 8. Nobly has defeated Trinex, is rushing across Dark Death Mountain, rushing past those Lionels, as Jeddoman picks up his 7th crystal from Eastern Palace, and, gets all 7 crystals out, and the staircase descends from Ganon's Tower. So, both our runners are basically... Jeddoman is a GT climb behind Nobly at this point. Nobly going into GT, and guesses are close. Do you want to do odds or evens with regards to the chests, Wolflink?
I mean, I said random room, so...
I meant with saying what each item is. I'll do odds then. The first item on Torch was a key.
Oh, we're doing it like that. I see now. I misunderstood the query.
I mean, you know, we're commentators. We've got to take more guesses, right?
Second chest is the big key!
So, that is... the people who guessed number 2 are Kralek, and I do not see... Oh, Captain Fufu. Congratulations, get your free rando seeds for life. Yeah. Yep.
Alright, so it looks like Jeddoman will be entering the tower at about a minute and a half behind, give or take another 10 seconds from Nobly. So that is a huge advantage for Nobly, who's now just focusing on pure execution right now.
Yeah, again, I still think it's a race. You know, we're just gonna have to see. But, you know, Jeddoman has to be pulling some perfect execution here in order to compete with Nobly. And
hope room first. If there's a small key here, he might go full right.
Let's hope for... Oh. Oh.
That's gonna eat up some time. That's unfortunate.
That is very unfortunate on Jeddoman's side. Yeah, so this is a lot more time that Nobly has against Jeddoman right now. And, well, Nobly defeating all those enemies very well is going to face off against Lambo too. So that is 1, 2, and, well, let's just see. Yeah, Nobly doing sword swipes on Lambo too.
And there goes Lambo 2. And, wait a minute. I just remembered something. We never announced what the current standings are for C group, did we?
No, we didn't. Basically, well, do you want to right now? Before it ends?
You know what? I'm gonna save that until the end of the race.
Okay, then. But, yeah, Nobly is speeding past those guards into the first torch room. That is 1, 2, 3.
And 4.
Yeah, torch is lit. Nobly is now going up the stairway and going into the second torch room using fire rod shots. 1, 2, 3, 4 torches lit. And now Jeddoman is in hot pursuit of Nobly, having gotten that big key. Nobly is 2/3 of the way up the tower, possibly a few minutes ahead at this point. Again, it's still possible, but highly unlikely at this point.
Boulder rather really like that corner.
Yeah, so that is Moldorm 2 down for Nobly. And Nobly is rushing past the conveyor belt and, well, frozen tile room, rushing up towards Agatu.
Alright, good pairing for this. Should be a nice triple. Oh, that one of those shots might have been a double hit, though. Another potential triple, or... No, that was a triple-double, maybe? Yeah, it was a triple-double. 2 of those initial sets stacked on such a way that they basically counted as 1 hit.
Yeah. That is Agatu down, and Ganon escaping in bat form, Nobly using the flute in order to chase Ganon to the pyramid, where Ganon drops down.
It is time to fight the pig. Tempered sword, rather, sorry, and silver's in hand. It'll be 12 slashes or 6 spins in order to get him through the first 2 phases of the fight. Another 4 slashes, does not matter about spins at that point, to get him into phase 3, and then we're into the darkness technique, that is phase 4. Keep the torches lit, stun him with the sword, and then let loose 4 silver arrows to win the fight.
Yep. And it seems as though Ganon is in second phase already.
And using the Cane of Burna to great effect there, keeping himself safe. Because Ganon does not joke around. On green mail, 13 hearts, we're on NMG levels of this fight, and this fight can hurt. Just, you can be too touched by Ganon's contact damage. That's how difficult this fight can be if you get hit.
Yep. Nobly doing brilliantly against Ganon. Getting 2 torches lit, hitting Ganon once with a single silver arrow, and that is 2, 3.
Playing it safe.
And yet that is 4 for Nobly. So get your GGs ready for Nobly. Yeah, we'll wait for Nobly to cross. Well, the platform.
And yes, folks, get your G's in chat as we see Jeddoman hover as we see Nobly finish in first place with a time of 1:23.54. Now, I mentioned just a few moments ago that we did not announce the standings, and this puts Nobly at 3-3 for Group C. Jeddoman will go 4-2, tying the second place a seed with his competitor.
Yep. So, sadly, Nobly putting on a brilliant show tonight, but, yep. In this, yeah. Well, yeah. So, yeah, we'll see when our runners both go through. It seems as though Jeddoman is going to complete the fight with Ganon.
All right, so with Jeddoman and I believe what is the other runner here? Katie Ruokawa. They will both be going 4-2 in this. What that will clinch the Group C spots here for the group stage. Meanwhile, Nobly will be taking third with a 3-3. So good standings overall for this league. A great showing.
Yep. And yeah, so for Group C, well, Crackeritos will be on 1 and 5 and will be out as well in this group. But yeah, this is Group C done.
Yeah, an excellent series of races. Jeddoman and put up a very strong showing here as well. Yeah. Had he won this race, he would have clinched the top spot of this race. And we are now joined by Nobly. Hey, GG's you. Congrats on your win here.
Hey, GG's. That was a seed.
That was indeed a seed.
It was indeed a seed.
And ladies and gentlemen, get your GG's in chat for Jeddoman, who is now finished off Ganon.
I must say I'm very disappointed by the seed though. Why would it put all the speed items in Kakariko?
And that is GG for Jeddoman with a time of 1:26.35.
Yep. So get your GG's for Jeddoman. I mean, yeah, as much as we saw with regards to items, on your side, Nobly, you were looking for, well, Bombos. On Jeddoman's side, on Jeddoman's side, Jeddoman was looking for the bow towards the end of all of that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, he chose to fake powder the moment he found the cane and the mushroom.
Yeah, I was thinking about it, but I don't feel like fake powdering is such a great play. Plus, I found powder pretty fast afterwards, but I didn't really have a reason to go there at the point. And the worst part of my feelings about this seed is when I was about to dive Swamp Palace, I had a big brain moment. Let's just go and do Saha's Closet first. And found my fire rod and then just went to all the other places first.
Yeah, I mean, I need to check, but on Jeddoman's side, let me see. No, I can't remember specifically. I thought Jeddoman might have gotten that fire rod earlier, but I think Jeddoman did get it later, actually, so, yeah.
Yeah, he got it later. Jeddoman actually went to Kakariko first.
Yeah. Which is why I felt super great when I got to Kakariko.
Yeah, that bottle was definitely the one that sent you over there, wasn't it?
Nah, it was like when I find an open seed where I get some early bombs and a weapon to do mini Valorum's cave, I don't feel the rush to go CAC. Because if I can get like one of my Darkwood progression down there, and then all of a sudden you're in Kakariko and you have Darkwood progression, then you can just go into Darkwood. Obviously, everything was in Kakariko, so that felt really great when I got there. But having that mirror sent me over to Graveyard Ledge and stuff, which gave me the myths. So like 14, 15 minutes in, you had like everything except fire sources, basically. So
I mean, yeah, with regards to the fire sources, we did see on both of your sides that you both couldn't do Hera Basement that led with the big key leading to an item in the big chest in Tower of Hera. This did when we saw Jeddoman go back to Tower of Hera after Turtle Rock, because Jeddoman did Turtle Rock before finding that bow, having bombos. So Jeddoman did take, a while doing that specific check, because it was one that, both of you last located, pretty much. Just due to lack of any lights or, any fire source.
yeah, I mean, when I got to Kakariko, got flute boots, hookshot, hammer, gloves, everything, I was like, okay, what is this? What's about to happen? And then I was like, okay, if my opponent didn't start like with Uncle, he doesn't have the mirror. So obviously I'm gonna rush north of CAC, which gave me the ether, which was when I got my mitts there as well. I went to Mountain, did that, skipped some things, catch the ferry, did Spy Cave to not like have to come back for that. And then I think I went to Desert and dipped that, got my powder in Checkerboard Cave. And then I was, okay, all I have left now is dive Swamp Palace, dive Mire without any fire source, or like do Smith Chain. So I was like, okay, I'll do Swamp Palace first. And then when I fluted, I was like, oh wait, there's 3 items in Sa's Closet, just quickly do that. And that gave me the fire rod, which led me to High Pyramid, and then decided, you know what, let's do... I almost forgot that Skullwoods was a thing, so I was like, okay, let's do that before Maya at least.
And we are now joined by Jeddoman. GG's to you once again. And a good strong showing here on this race.
Thanks.
So why don't you go ahead and walk us through your seed routing here?
I just wanted to kind of play conservative and clear out as much of the light world as I could before I really went to dark world. So that was kind of the game plan for me going forward. And it wound up kind of kicking me a little bit, finding that mitt in the dark world, and then could have saved a trip up the mountain. But that's just kind of how that goes sometimes. And then I was just trying to focus on the crystal dungeons and trying to put off all of the pendants as late as possible, hoping for that bow to show up, but didn't get lucky this time.
I think mitts were in back of escape, right?
Or yeah, back of escape. I didn't duck that until I was doing pyramid routing. I mirrored at the front of the pyramid and dipped into escape and did all of that.
Ah.
Yep.
But yeah, I was saying this to Nobly, but it seemed as though when we were looking towards the end of the seed, for you, Jeddoman, you were looking for the bow that Nobly had found in, Swamp Palace, whilst Nobly, you were looking for the bombos that Jeddo had found by fake powdering at the start of everything. So. Yeah, it was that look for the bow for you, Jeddoman.
Yeah, and there were a couple of things I could have done different. I don't normally do hope right anymore. I usually just go full left, then full right. But I felt behind, so I'm like, just hope room on the chance, and got the small key. I'm like, well, let's just go to compass on the chance, and sure enough, nope, it was in Dark Magician. So, oh well. It was a lot of little things like that where it's like I felt behind, so I changed routing and it bit me.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it was a good play though, because if you know how I play, I always go to DM room first into compass room. So if you felt behind, that was at least a good play because
it was a gamble for sure.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, at that point, I didn't count how many minutes behind you were, Jeddoman, to Nobly, but I think Nobly was like a third up the tower at that point.
Sounds about right.
The thing is that if the big key would have been on the right side, it might have been a matter of. I know this is me estimating it, but you sort of being more or less roughly a minute behind, in my opinion. So it would have made all the difference if there was a big key on right side.
Yep.
I mean, I was looking at something, and I was just like, I think as a commentator, just looking at you finding something, Jeddoman. Although Nobly, you did say about this as well, grabbing that fire rod. Jeddoman, you were in the middle of your going to pod when you mirrored to Sahasrara, and I was just like, you know what, if I was theoretically playing the seed, I wouldn't know what to do because, so much would open up to you. But then there's 5 items in pod, and I was just wondering how you were feeling at that moment, because at that point, like, I was just like, I'm happy I'm not playing the seed right now, because I would have just stayed there in Sahasrara's hut and just taken 10 minutes to decide, yeah.
Well, that put me in BOGO mode, so that fire rod there meant that if pod is locked out, which is a genuine possibility, then there's literally nothing in there for me.
Mm.
So I decided, screw it, go finish out Skull Woods and go do Turtle Rock, since I've got all of Turtle Rock now, and hope for it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I found the bow, my thought was, okay, let's check race time room, because that mire didn't feel great.
Yep.
And then I was like, okay, if bow is go mode, then bombos is somewhere else. It's not in pod. So I have a ton of overworld that I have left behind, which I can just combine everything at once. So I was like, okay, let's do Smith Chain, at least. And then if that doesn't give anything, you just, okay, then you rush pod Eastern. Because I already had dipped Eastern, found all 3 items, I knew there was nothing left. So at that point I was like, okay, there's no finish time, so let's be a little bit more thorough. Like, I played very aggressive after Kakariko.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, being late to boots and flute for you, definitely. When they're just right there, and Sankstad is so easy to do.
Yeah, I mean, clearing like all of Hyrule Castle, South Shore, walk all the way to Agina, and then there was a flute and boots there. That didn't feel really great. So basically I wanted to just go buy 10 bombs and just go around Kakariko and bombing around, but I felt like, okay, I have to play to my advantage then, and play very aggressive and do very good decisions mid-game. So but good luck on advancing, and I hope you bring Group C to the finals, Jeddo.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do my darndest, that's for sure.
Yes, I believe that with this win, Nobly, you go 3-3, but unfortunately that is not enough to get you out of 3rd place, which means you were going to be leaving us here for the tournament. Did you at least enjoy the time you had here?
Yeah, for sure. Very unlucky with the seeds, though. All of my seeds has been, usually it's one item's advantage that has break in the seed. So, like my last race with Jeddo, I think he just did Smith Chain and got go mode, while I did 3 dungeons first and got caught up in time there. So, it's unfortunate. It's random. It happens. There's always a new year next time, right?
Yes. Now, Jeddo, I do have a question for you, because with this loss here, you are now 4-2 with the next place person in Group C. Is there going to be a tiebreaker for seeding, or is there just?
There's not, because I won both matches against Katorikawa.
Okay, so you're still going to be the top seed here of Group C. Well, good luck to you then.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for here. So make sure to get both our runners here, follow here. Here, they did put an excellent race for tonight. And we've got some treats for you here in terms of the randomizer here. Coming up in SpeedGaming 2 at 10:40, we have Manigal versus Freddy. And that's on SpeedGaming. On the ALTTPR randomizer, though, we got something extra special for you. We have J-Joe versus ACMLM, a double header happening on ALTTP randomizer. That will be happening starting at 8:10, so just over an hour from now.
Yeah, I believe that. Sorry about that. I believe that the J-Joe versus ACLM, the reason why this is so great is because the results of these matches could determine in the group just who wins and who loses overall, because there's a lot of uncertainty with regards to this group here, so that's definitely very good. And just saying goodbye on everything, so I'll do that now. Thank you again, Jeddoman, Nobly, for allowing yourselves to be restreamed, for the interviews, for the race, for everything. It's been amazing. Thank you for the co-commentary, Wolf Link. It's been a pleasure, and I've really enjoyed it. And thank you, Linkforce, for the tracking. And make sure you keep following, SpeedGaming 1 to 5 and Link to Pass Randomizer 1 to 6 for more to do with this tournament. I'm sure it's gonna even get far more interesting from here. So yeah.
Indeed, as well. Make sure to also follow Goron as well. But for all of us here at a Link to Pass Randomizer, I have at least been Wolfling 0370, and we just see you all next time. And thank you for watching. Have a good night, everyone.